welcome to Duck River Homestead. Today I'm going to be inventorying the meat in our freezer. This is our first time really stocking up our freezer with the intent of learning how much do we need in order to store up enough meat for our family for a year. And this is the first time that we did half a heifer, and so part of my learning curve is learning how much that equates for our family of 4. And so I realized that depending on the size of your steer or your heifer, that's going to vary. But when I've been watching videos of people kind of doing their freezer inventory, because I'm so new at this, I feel like I don't really have a good concept of, well, how much of each different type of cut am I getting, and how can that weight vary, and are we talking about 2 pieces or 10 pieces? So I was searching for this information, so I thought I'll just provide it for others out there if they're curious. Okay, how much sirloin do I get? How much stew meat do I get? How much ribeye do I get? In a general idea, because again, it will depend on the size of your animal. As we're heading into January, I'm challenging myself to do the Pantry challenge that Three Rivers Homestead does. She does it for 2 months. She's been doing homesteading for decades, and so she actually tries to eat from her own pantry for 2 months. I feel like that's a bit of a jump for us, considering this is our first year doing this. So I am challenging myself though to try to eat just from the food that we've stored for the month of January. So I'm not going to go to the grocery store. I got what I thought we were running low on in the month of December. I've ordered that, and so I'm going to be cooking in the month of January for as long as I can. I don't know if I'll make it all of January, but for as long as I can, I'm just going to be using the meat that we have in our freezer and anything that I canned or put in the freezer or dehydrated this last season over summer and fall. So we'll see how it goes. And so in order to do that, I need to know what I have on hand. And so I'm trying to get an idea and an inventory of how many chuck roasts do I have, how much brisket, different types of things. And then I will be making our weekly meal plan according to what I have on hand. One of the things that I love about the Pantry challenge that Jessica leads is that she says that there are really no rules, so you can make up the rules according to your family. So one of the things that I do plan on continuing to get at the grocery store through January is all of our dairy products. So that's not something that I've stocked up in our pantry currently, but for this year I am going to allow us to every week or 2 get stuff at the store or from a local farmer to meet our dairy needs for the month of January. So we ended up with sirloin, 3 pounds, 2 ounces, and that was between 3 packages. We also had a sirloin tip roast, which was 3 packages, no, just 2 packages, and we ended up with 6 pounds, 9 ounces of that. For our flank steak, I know we used one of them already. We only had one left. So we only ended up with 2 packages, and the one that we have left is 1 pound, 2 ounces. Our round steak, we had 7 packages. They range anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds each, but we had a total of 8 pounds, 11 ounces for the round steak. For our New York strip steak, we had 7 packages of New York strip steak with a total of 5 pounds. We ended up with 2 packages of brisket for a total of 6 pounds, 5 ounces. For ribeye, we had 6 packages with a total of 6 pounds, 15 ounces. We had 4 packages of stew meat that were about 1 pound each, so we ended up with 4 pounds, 3 ounces of stew meat. We only had 1 rump roast, which was 2 pounds, 4 ounces, and then we also had 4 packages of beef rib. They each had like either 4 or 5 ribs in each package. for a total of 10 pounds, 1 ounce of beef rib. For our fillets, we ended up with 3 packages for a total of, no, we ended up with 5, sorry. So for our fillets, we ended up with 5 packages and a total of 2 pounds, 8 ounces. And then we ended up with 3 chuck roasts that were 8 pounds, 7 ounces total. They're about 2 to 3 pounds each. We also had 45 of these 2-pound package ground beef, so that was another 90 pounds of meat. All right, so when I added all that up, we ended up with a little over 155 pounds of beef currently in our freezer, and we'll see how long that lasts us, but I definitely think I have enough beef to get us through the month of January. So when I added all that up, it didn't account for the fat or the soup bone that we had. We ended up with a little over 14 pounds of soup bone that I can use to make beef broth. And then I also had about 5 pounds of fat that were divided up into 3 different bags that I can use to render the fat. So by doing this, I'm still not sure if this will last us 6 months, a year for our family of 4. We also have in our freezer 32 chickens that are frozen. They're about 3 to 4 pounds each. And then in a couple weeks, we're gonna be processing our pigs. We currently have 4 pigs, but all 4 are not going to us. We're gonna keep 1 for our family, and we'll see how much pork we end up from that. So based off of just this chicken and beef inventory, I feel like I definitely have enough to get through my freezer pantry challenge as far as meat goes. And I also just don't know, will that be enough for 6 months? Will that be enough for a year for our family? That's what we feel like is our learning curve for this year. And then based off of that, we'll better be able to make decisions in the future about which animals we'll be having on the homestead, and whether we want to be doing it for us, or if we have friends and family that want us to do it, how much we should be getting. I also feel like this is going to help me figure out and get a little more creative with some of the things that I'm cooking, because I don't have a ton of stew meat and I often cook with stew meat. We do have a decent amount of ribeye, but I know that I tend to cook more with ribeye as well. So I'm going to have to get more creative with some of the other cuts that I'm not as, like, I don't cook with round steak as much, but recently I have been, and our family's really liked it. And so making a special occasion also out of the cuts that we have that we don't have much of, like brisket or ribs. Those are going to be a special occasion. So thanks for watching.